It's its own language. We need subs for Korbins intros now.
YouTube, we saw a very good version of copyright reasons. Like, see full and cover version of this and other Tamil films. You got a Patreon, watch the membership, soft description. We'll open and go check that out. And we'll talk about the movie and review it. Okay. Okay. Let's finish this movie.
Son of a bitch.
ஐயா சரிங்க ஐயா முடிச்சு சொல்கிறேங்க சொல்கிறேங்க
இப்போ கூட கையில் துப்பாக்கி வச்சுருந்தானே கூப்பிட்றீங்க
இப்போ என் கையில் துப்பாக்கி இல்லைடா வாடா வா வெளியே வா
Don't trust him.
பாண்டே உன்னை நான் ப்ரெஸ் நாள் கொண்டு போய் நிறுத்துறேன்டா சொல்ல வேண்டியதெல்லாம் அங்கே சொல்கிறா
Lies, lies, lies.
பார்த்துக்கலாம்டா
Deceit, deceit, lies, lies, lies.
துப்பாக்கியிலேருந்து கை எடுங்க எடுங்க
சுடுறா சுட்டுட்டு போ
நான் உயிரோடு இருக்கிறதுக்கு உங்களை சொன்னமாயா ஆனாயா
Shoot him in the leg.
இப்போ கூட துப்பாக்கி இல்லைன்னு போய் சொல்லி தானே வர வச்சிங்க
ஒன்றை சுடுறதுக்கு இல்லைடா என்னோட பாதுகாப்புக்காக தான் நானும் போட்டுறேன்
Keep pulling back like that. Oh, yeah.
That is not an easy shot right there.
This is the guy that kills all the time, though.
That's
like
true.
the assassin
Yeah, he's
guy.
the gunman.
ரெண்டும் முடிஞ்சுங்க ஐயா ப்ரெஸ்ஸில் சொல்லிட்டுமாங்க ஐயா
சொல்லிடு ஏடிஎம்ல கொள்ளடிச்சவங்களை பிடிக்கும்போது இன்ஸ்பெக்டர் முத்துவேலி இறந்துட்டாருன்ற மாதிரி ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ண சொல்லு அந்த பசங்க மேலே சிம்பத்தி வராமல் பார்த்துக்கணும்
அது பண்ணிடலாங்க ஐயா போலீஸுக்கு பாதுகாப்பு இருக்குதா இல்லைன்னு ஒரு டிபேட் வச்சுக்க சொல்லாங்க ஐயா அப்படி பண்ணிட்டுங்களா ஐயா
அப்படியே செஞ்சிருங்க
சரிங்க ஐயா
அடுத்த வேலை வரும்போது கூப்பிட்றேன் சந்திரன்
நல்லதுங்க ஐயா
Cinema, baby.
That's what they call elevative artistry.
Fucking cinema, baby.
That is elevative artistry. That is a platinum with blue diamonds all over it, man. Was that a consideration for Best International Film back in 2015?
I think it was sent. I think that's what I heard. But it didn't make it, obviously, because it didn't.
Yeah, but was it India's submission in 2015? Damn, what a film. What a film.
India submitted a film court in 2014. Well, 2016, maybe?
Oh, I'm so happy to see that this is on Netflix.
Yes, it was.
It was the submission?
It was the submission.
As it should have been.
Obviously, it did not.
Wow, they got it right.
It did not make it.
But it was India's submission.
It was India's submission that year.
Great.
Wow, what a fun watch.
Yeah.
You just kind of feel gross. It's one of those movies that's like, it's so corrupt and disgusting and uncomfortable, which is, the purpose of it, of course. And what the director masterfully portrayed on screen, making it so uncomfortable. The silence was so loud throughout the entirety of the film.
Yeah.
You really felt like almost you were these boys.
It's a shame it wasn't put on some other. It went on the Venice International Film Festival, but not a lot of other ones.
But, man, what a film. So much about this film is absolutely fantastic. One gripe, You can look it up later. One gripe is
Oh, wow.
what?
Go ahead. One gripe, then I'll say there was a controversy here.
Just say it because I'm going to delve more into the film.
The beating sequences.
Yeah.
This was criticized by some of the foreign media and members of the Golden Globes during the film's Oscar campaign.
Mm-hmm.
The beating sequences, the actors were really beaten, and all of them had to undergo counseling sessions after the filming. That's not okay.
Nice.
That's not okay.
Unless the actors wanted it. There's no union over there, so it wasn't.
Yeah.
They might have just counseling because it was so intense.
Yeah, I mean, it very well may have been the actors said, we need to make this believable and we need to be as real as possible, so do it. And if that's the case, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story.
Because I would want to be, well, I'm sure like the batons or whatever they were beaten with were, I'm sure rubber and stuff like that.
Well, I was going to say this, but I didn't want to during the scene. When they got the palm fronds down, I thought, this is the kind of thing as an actor you want to do because you know the story you're telling is so important and you're going to do everything in your power to make it as believable and real as possible. And you want to, as much as you can, suffer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you make your performance.
As much as you can to be as closely resembling the suffering.
Of course, actually be tortured.
No, and it said that went through counseling sessions. Well, sure. I mean, you've heard about lesser roles where actors have had to have therapy after a performance.
Who knows about that?
That's rough. That's rough stuff to have to go through.
Who knows about the exact situation?
Yeah.
Obviously.
So anyway,
but one gripe is, I would have preferred it to end at the shots. I didn't need them explaining exactly what they did. Like, obviously they killed the kid and the officer. He said that at the end because both tasks are done. And so the guy shot him, and then he proceeded. I think you could have. I already assumed that when the shots went off, but it could have been. It's just what I prefer.
Yeah, that doesn't. I don't have a gripe with that.
Ending on stronger points there.
I think part of the reason for that and the justification for it is that hopefully you're going to get a lot of people who, and especially a younger audience who really can't comprehend this kind of corruption exists. And you need to add that final stamp of, yeah, we did it, and here's how we're going to manipulate it in the media so that people think the story's one thing, and to recognize it's the whole system. They use that word over and over again, system. Mm-hmm. It's the police, it's the politicians, it's the attorneys, it's the people in relationship to them who know they'll be blackmailed if they don't cooperate, and it's the way they're manipulating the media. It's that doesn't bother me, and I love us seeing the real guy at the end in the clip of him talking about the human rights issues, because I mean this is that's elevative cinema, man.
Yeah, this
every level. There's nothing to complain about.
It's a great piece of cinema when, like, after it's done, you're like,
damn.
Whoa.
Yeah, a lot to think about.
That was, you felt, I mean, it's what the film wanted, of course, you to kind of feel like you just went through torture.
Yeah. You need to.
In a way, mentally,
you need to.
At least. And that's what I feel like. It's just
like,
whoa.
I've said it many times that one of the best lessons I ever had in a film, which is also based on a true story, is Prisoners. Mm-hmm. And there's a moment where Jackman's being shown photos. Not a spoiler. See it if you haven't. It's rough. It's rough on a number of levels.
Yeah.
But there's this point where he's being shown these photos that may or may not be his kid. Mm-hmm. Regardless, they're someone's kid. And I almost walked out because it was so hard to watch. And the thought popped into my head, parents don't get to walk out of that situation. You need to empathize with this. You can sit through a 2-hour movie about it when there's people who've had to live through this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate when you're telling a story that's true like this, you need to really drive home. It's not gratuitous. You need to drive home the brutality. It's a difficult line to be on as a filmmaker, because you have to have the shock value without that just being what people are talking about. And masterfully done. There's literally nothing I have a complaint about with this film. Writing, acting, editing, camera work, lighting, sound design, score, direction, this thing is platinum with a blue diamond, man. This thing is one of the better films we've seen.
I'm trying to look up the book,
What a great film.
The Lockup.
And this is one of those films that when you watch it, you not only have all those processes for yourself, but I have that sense of this needs to be shared. Other people need to see this movie. Other people need to know this story. Other people need to know about this situation, which again, I don't know what's happened since 2015, but these are the kinds of films internationally that the Academy wants to elevate because they shed a light almost in a documentarian sort of way of human rights issues.
It'd be interesting to see if it was shortlisted.
Yeah, I'd like to know. I don't know what else was there, but it's absolutely worthy of being a submission for the Oscars. Great job. And what added to it was so many faces that I know them solely as this, which really helped the believability of these are these guys.
Yeah, and obviously we know this director already.
Yeah.
And he's a brilliant director.
Brilliant director.
This might be his best.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
In my, it looks like on the poster, it looks like
Yeah.
Kamal
Mani Ratnam.
Rajnikant, it
Yep.
looks like, and then Mani all said something about. I'm sure Anurag loves this movie. I wonder what they're saying on there.
No surprise why he gets blank checks.
Yes.
Oh, you went 6 months over your shooting schedule? Not a problem, bro.
But this one was so intimate on every level.
Just so freaking good, man.
Like, one, it was just cinematically just done extremely well and artistically
in every
done
way.
really, really well, and done so intentionally to make you very uncomfortable, make you not be able to breathe, make you really put you in this situation as best it can.
Yep. And you know what was a really gutsy choice? I'm assuming it was his call. It was very risky to go black and white in those two moments.
Why do you think he did that?
I think he did it to convey the obvious. Mm-hmm. There's no gray here, guys. This is not a gray situation. What you're watching right now, black and white, this is wrong. No gray area, no moral gray area. This is black and white. What you're seeing here is the culmination of everything that's gone wrong, and don't get it screwed in your head. There's nothing about this that has any justification. What they did was wrong. I think that was, and the starkness of it.
But there was other moments in the film that were obviously totally wrong as well.
Yeah, but this happened in the climax. Yeah, I would love to talk to him about that. I suspect that was it. And it could have been just he wanted to convey the starkness.
Yeah.
And how,
Because that was
again,
a choice. That's a big choice.
big choice. And it could have not worked. And the other part of that is he really put us in it with the guys. We were there. We were standing looking down over them. At times we were looking from the POV of the guys beating them. At times we were on the ground with them getting beat, but we were always in it. And it also conveyed, he also chose not to do something, which I appreciated in the ending sequence. He chose not to go into slow motion. He chose to keep it in real time. And the other thing he did throughout, I'd love to know if the sound design was intentional. But when you hear all of the frogs and the crickets in the swampy area at the end, we had been getting foreshadowing of that the whole movie. Though that had been a theme constantly about the frogs and the just so much. I'd love to talk to him about this film.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Brilliant filmmaking.
One of India's best directors.
Brilliant filmmaking.
Written also by him, and I don't know if that's the author. Oh,
yeah, it is.
It's the
It's the guy who wrote the book, so they collaborated.
If anybody's read it, please let me know. The composer is J.V. Prakash Kumar. We've seen him heard his many times. His
Gorgeous
scores.
score.
And this was a very subtle score. And I don't know if I'm assuming he did the background score as well. Mm-hmm. If I'm wrong, please let me know, because that's not always the case. Sometimes the composer just does the songs, as opposed to
right.
Because this one, the things that were striking are the no sound
Throughout.
The no sound was almost louder at times than any kind of score that they put behind it.
Yeah.
And I love that about this movie is the the background score, lack thereof, just makes you're not. Don't be distracted by anything else. This is what you need to focus on right here. It's a ballsy move too.
Very ballsy.
I mean, not that I think he cares, because I think he's one of those directors.
No, it's one of the best things about, and I've seen it, I don't know how many times, but still to this day, and it's because of Coppola's directing and the actors acting, particularly Pacino. When Michael goes to the Italian restaurant for the first time, and Michael's never done anything like this, but he's been pushed over the edge because of what they've done to Vito, his dad. That whole sequence, he's sitting at the table. He's going to go to the bathroom and get the gun that's been put there behind the toilet. And even then, you don't know if he's going to do it. And the tension, there's no score. There's nothing. It's all on Pacino's face and his eyes. And you're so nervous. Is he going to do it? Is it going to go down the way they wanted it to go down? Is he going to get caught? What is this going to do for Michael? Because Michael's been the innocent one. How's Vito going to respond to this? Because Vito didn't want Michael involved in the family business. That's the one person he wanted to say unscathed. Very, very. It's at that level. This is at that level.
Yeah, and a lot of the cinematography by Rama Lingam, whether it be
team,
the one shot, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually a couple of one shots, but the really long one shot, was masterful by all the actors as well.
Yeah, everybody.
I think everybody did an absolutely fantastic job.
Fantastic job.
If I was in this, I would want, obviously,
I'd be so proud.
I'd want, obviously, like rubber mallets or something like that, something that's not going to actually
do permanent damage
or internally damage me, but I want to be able to feel the hits.
You bet. Well, of utmost importance, I'd be right there with the director looking at playback, because you've got it. In 2015, you've got that. You can look at the playback immediately. You don't have to wait for dailies. Every blow, every hand slap, every strike with the baton, the palm fronds, the tying up, if any moment of that physical abuse isn't believable and the audience goes, oh, I saw it. I saw the baton bend, or oh, yeah, he didn't really hit him, he missed him. You lose all credibility. You can't have that happen. So like after every scene, I'd be looking with everybody going, did we miss it anywhere? Where are we missing it? Where does it not look believable? So my bet is the actors said, beat us. We want it to look believable. We want to feel what they felt. That too, I'd love to know the story, but this is pretty much a flawless movie.
Yeah, it's
pretty flawless.
And he has a bunch of great movies too, like the first part of the other one we saw, Asuran.
Everything's justified. Everything's believable. And I'd love to know, I'm assuming he's happy with it, but this isn't just the telling of a true story. It's the telling of a true story as told by that man who wrote the book Lockup. And if you've read Lockup, which I'm sure there's several of you that have and know the story, would love to know. I'm assuming this did justice to the book. What a film.
What?
And what is that? Does that mean Lockup? The title of the film?
It might.
In Tamil? Mispronouncing it, I know, but is Visaranai, is that Tamil for Lockup?
Maybe. Looks like he has got another film coming out maybe this year with Surya.
Well, where's this? Isn't he working on the sequel to the train movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything the man touches, not only do I want to see, he's the kind of director you watch his work and you want to work with him.
Yeah.
As an actor, man.
What a piece of cinema. That was. I've heard a lot about this movie for a long time, and so the hype from me was pretty high. Just because I've heard like people like, oh, it's one of the best things come out of Indian cinema.
100%. One of the best Indian films I've ever seen. Any region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one that'll like leave you thinking for a while too.
You bet. Thinking, talking.
What great cinema does.
Yeah. And you want to share it with other people, want them to see it. Like, I mean, it's just really as good as it gets.
I don't know if it's a good watch along. You guys can tell
Yeah,
me.
you
guys can tell me.
You know what I think? In a film like this where, you know, obviously in a watch along, what's great is the laughing points and the reaction points that are shocking, right? But I think, based on what Stupid Babies have said to us, that they really love about it when we get into elevative cinema, is they do appreciate, and it's why, because I don't talk this much when I'm watching a movie. I keep my mouth shut. I do that because we're doing watch alongs. And when we point out the things on the technical aspects that we love, like when it was a beautiful scene or it's a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
That, and I think our silences say a lot too.
Right? This one might be very silent.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys have to tell us if you like it or not. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm very happy we got to watch it. And I know, like, the more popular watch-alongs are obviously going to be the big action movie.
Action and comedy.
And comedy.
And scary.
Which I love.
Me too.
But there's a whole, obviously, separate group of Stupid Babies. Obviously, we've been doing this for 6 years, so people know our taste. That like us watching much more elevative things as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, I like watching them all. But, yeah, this is... it's a very special movie. I wonder if it went to Indian Film Festival that year. And I wonder if it was here.
I don't know.
Would have sucked. We weren't doing the channel, obviously, by that time. But,
I know. And it holds up. It's 10 years old. Looks like it was shot this year. That does not look like a film that was shot 10 years ago.
Does he do a lot of interviews? I bet he doesn't.
I bet he doesn't.
He strikes me as a man that just like, I'm going to let my work speak. I know he's done some roundtables that we've seen.
And if he does, I bet it's only when he's in between a project. I bet he doesn't do an interview while he's working on something. He just looks like he's the kind of guy that gets fully absorbed. Who knows? But would love
he works on a film for like
to talk to him.
15 years.
Would love to talk to him.
At a time.
Yeah. Good for him. Yeah, like I said, write him the blank checks, producers.
Fantastic. I feel like I just got out of being tortured.
In the best way.
In a good way. In a good way, of course. You guys let us know what you think about the movie. If you like it. If you didn't like it, why? Please tell me.
Why do you not like this movie?
If you like to watch along, let me know. Let me know what our next Tamil watch along for Visaranai.
Close enough.
Or otherwise, for Tamil. You can see other Tamil watch-alongs on Patreon as well. Full uncut versions, including this. If you like to see full uncut versions of this and other Tamil films, you can go to Patreon. Check that out. And next